Hello, I'm Reiki Master and Teacher Ashley Michaud, and this is my new student, Tristan Peterson. Today we're just going to do the first part of our Reiki training, which is going through the Reiki teacher manuals. So I'm just going to share the screen with you now. We will go through and I'll answer questions along the way. Full screen. Start from the beginning. Here we go. Okay, Elemental Reiki. So I guess we'll start with my story. How it was that I became a Reiki teacher. It was that I had, I don't know, it was the universe, I guess, just conspiring in my favor, one of those synchronicities, because what happened was after I became pregnant, I was introduced to a Reiki teacher and master. And she really helped me be that guiding support and that light for me in a time being a single mother to be. And of course, a lot of the stuff that I was doing with my pregnancy was a little bit out of the norm. I didn't do any of the regular testings. I was doing a lot of hypnobirthing techniques and mindset work and tons of stuff like that. So she really helped me, was so supportive. And then I asked her to be my partner during the home birth, which again, was so super successful. She, like, I don't know, none of those same pains or concerns or fears were there for me. And when somebody can actually say, I did a home birth and it was so beautiful and magical, that's saying something about how this practice is. And, you know, most of the time she didn't have to touch me or anything. It was all just energy work. And again, it was just beautiful and magical, and it felt very enlightening. And then it was about a month or so after I had had Finn, she checked in with me to see where I was at, how things were going, and invited Finn and I out to this place that she was staying at for a month. And like, it was a beautiful place, nice big yard. It was on a marsh. And in that time, we spent a month together, and she trained me in level 1, 2, and 3 Reiki. Then she attuned me as a Reiki master and taught me some tips for teaching as well. So that is that's my personal story. Let's dive into how it became Elemental Reiki. So I've also integrated some of my other credentials in with business training, and so now I call it spiritual biz training. Also, I bring in some other things like my years working with herbology and Kundalini yoga and different things like that, so we can really get more of an integrative approach or an elemental approach to how Reiki can help people and how you can actually make a profit and a bigger impact because of that profit in your own life. So let's talk about the 5 Reiki principles. Just for today, I will let go of anger. Just for today, I will let go of worry. Just for today, I will have gratitude and give thanks for my many blessings. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will show love and respect to my neighbor and every living thing. Heal thyself so that others may also be healed. So you will get a copy of this in your Reiki manual. So these Reiki principles, yes, they are very, very powerful. But I do also recommend that maybe you make them more personable to yourself and your own direct experience. So let's say anger is not an issue for you, or you have an issue with anger being part of an affirmation. You want it to be more positive. In that case, you can change it to, just for today, I will share love and laughter with everybody, you know? That's just one example. So they don't have to be these 5 Reiki principles, but I think the reason why they are called principles is because there is a very foundational part on these things, you know? So the history of Reiki. Dr. Maku Usui, born in Japan in the mid-19th century, rediscovered Reiki. This does not mean that Reiki is Japanese, nor does it belong to any particular religion or country. Reiki is universal. Reiki is just love energy. Mikao Usui was extremely interested in healing and made it his mission to find a way to heal the sick. Obviously inspired by higher forces, he was eventually guided to read the Sanskrit Sutra, and from that found a way to contact these higher healing forces, but not the ability to heal. So in other words, what that's saying is that we are the vessel. And what he taught was people to be the vessel of that healing. So essentially what we're doing is tapping into universal energy, letting that flow through us and into the other person. And in that time, we too are also healed, just by that loving energy that we're, and that want to love and heal other people. Intention truly is, that's such a magnificent thing. So Dr. Usui then decided to go to the holy mountain of Koriyomo in his home country, where he meditated, fasted, and followed the directions to contact his healing power. He set before him 21 rocks, and as each day passed, he threw away one rock. Eventually, he threw away all the rocks except for the last. But he had still not contacted his healing power. Then, just before dawn, he stood up and looked towards the horizon and noticed a point of light coming towards him. He also realized that the light was communicating with him, and it had consciousness. This was the healing power that he had been searching for. Dr. Usui knew at that moment that to receive the healing power, he must be struck by the light. But he also knew that to do this might cost him his physical life. As his life mission he had dedicated to searching for this healing power, he promptly decided not to give up and to stand his ground. The light had struck Dr. Usui unconscious, and it was during this time he was shown many rainbow-colored bubbles, which contained symbols that appeared slowly enough for him to register them and learn. As this was happening, he was being attuned to this energy and given the knowledge as to its use, and also given the ability to pass on attunements to other people. So these bubbles of symbols, that is what you're going to get an attunement today after our session. This is for first level. This is the attunement where you'll be able to heal yourself. Our second attunement, that'll be when you can heal others. And for some people, they also go into business for themselves around that time. And then you have your master attunement and your Reiki teacher attunement, which we'll do on our last ceremony at the end of our course. You're not going to get struck by any light, but you will feel light. Yeah, you will feel light.
Shout Shazam! Superpowers here.
Right. And yeah, you do see the symbols. Like, you're going to be training the symbols anyway, so you're going to know what to look for. But you are going to see. Yeah, I saw a lot of colors when I did mine. It wasn't necessarily bubbles, but I saw colors of light just going through.
They look like the gyroscope etch-a-sketch symbols that people relate to chakras, like the different flower patterns.
No, that is the chakra lotus. We'll get into the chakras. Actually, I think next week is the chakras. But yeah, those are just lotus flowers. But for some people, those could be the bubbles. But the symbols that Reiki are teaching, I actually like that one up there, the spiral, for opening energy and closing energy. There's several more that we'll get into. Well, Reiki is now practiced in many countries all over the world. Before his death in 1930, Dr. Usui gave the master attunement to 16 teachers, which consisted of the Reiki energy, the symbols, the attunement process, and the Reiki ideals or principles. Other teachers along the way have added in other helpful procedures such as hand positions and metaphysical diagnosis. Your training is with certified master teacher Ashley Michaud, that's me, who is 14th down the line from Dr. Makao Usui, and whose method of teaching is to keep it simple, flexible, and intuitive. Yeah. So, yeah, there is definitely going to be structure, but for the most part, what my students end up getting is how to be more intuitive and how to just allow, like the body already knows what to do, and even your client already knows what it is that they need healed. Once you are able to trust the energy and tap into that intuitive state, everything will just come naturally, and that's what I'm going to be helping you do during this process. So here's the lineage. So those are were all of his students, and then coming down, is that me there or is that my teacher? Hold on. I think the next one's, yeah. My teacher was 13 and I'm 14.
Nice.
You'll be number 15 on the lineage, which is actually a cool number.
I was expecting it's like several hundred of
There,
people being passed down.
yeah, there are several hundred, but that's with internet and things like that today too, right? People are able to access this stuff a lot more easily. Even, I don't know if this is going to be the video that we put out there, but it'll be this one or down the road. And that will be, of course, available to people too. However, I think the one-on-one coaching is very, very important, as is getting an attunement in person by somebody. Yeah, you can learn all of these techniques, but without the actual attunement, without the coaching of how to implement these things, you're not going to be able to get the same results, even for an intuitive person. You know, I think it's important to learn directly from the person who is doing it. But with the internet, it does make this knowledge more available to so many people, which in itself is very powerful and creating a huge shift. So I'm really grateful for anybody who is out there doing this. So the word Reiki means universal life force energy. It is unconditional love. That's what I'm always going to say. Yeah. To become a Reiki channel, you need to be attuned by a Reiki master and teacher. So again, we were just talking about that. With internet, there are hundreds, probably thousands of level 1s, 2s, 3s out there. But without that attunement, you're still missing that initial contact. Through this process, your whole being undergoes changes to allow this beautiful energy to flow through you, just as water flows through a hose. So that when you encounter someone or something that is in need of this energy, they can draw it through you. It is not your energy being utilized. It is the Reiki energy, which works with the universal principle of as you give, so shall you receive. That's what I was saying about, you know, we're taking in all of this energy. We're the vessel. And as we're healing, we too are being healed. Oh, that just makes me smile so much. It's like free health.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to help other people as well, you know? We should be rewarded for what it is that we do. And I find so often people forget to celebrate their own success. But with Reiki, you don't have a choice. It's just happening. So healing. Reiki energy is essentially used for healing and is far more than a physical healing modality. This energy also enhances the mind, emotions, and spiritual awareness, bringing all four aspects into balance. Elemental. We are not required to know at which level this energy is needed. As a Reiki channel, we humbly provide access to this energy, and the recipient draws it to where it is appropriate at the time. The recipient can also be you. This also means that the recipient can block it if they want to, but this very rarely happens. The people who are going to find you are the people who are open to this. Mm-hmm. You're not there to convince anybody. You can do that on a mass scale or just by creating your own ripple effect. But yeah, for the most part, I find that we attract what it is that we need. We're mirrors for what's out there. Thus, you cannot force Reiki onto a person. Reiki can be likened to radio waves, which are always present, but we are unaware of them until a transmitter picks them up and converts them into a sound. So it is with Reiki, being converted into healing energy by a Reiki channel. Any questions about that?
No.
What's really cool about how they use radio waves, that all comes from a quartz crystal.
That's even what Tesla said. The whole universe can be measured in frequencies, radio waves, and vibrations.
Love Tesla. Okay, attunement. You do not need to join a group or club to learn to use Reiki. Once you are attuned to the energy via a Reiki master teacher, you will never lose the benefits of this attunement. However, the more you see the energy and work with it, the stronger it will become, enabling better results. A Reiki channel does not create the energy, so you cannot be depleted of your own energy, nor do you take on the illness of the person you are treating. You may occasionally get a twinge of recognition of the client's pain or illness, but that is that recognition. It does not stay with you, which is true. And it shouldn't, unless you have a blockage inside of yourself. But that's why it is that in Reiki level 1, you're healing yourself, because then you can get through those blockages so that when you are working with a client, it's not getting stayed inside of you. But that does happen, often without clients even telling me where it is that they're feeling pain. When I'm giving Reiki, I will bring it on. Sometimes I bring on just colors that I'm visioning, because I study a lot about the chakras, so that's how the messages are translated or shown to me. But it is also with physical pain at times, but that doesn't mean it's heart racing. It just means that it's like a warmth in a certain area. Oh, maybe I gotta go to that person's shoulder, or different things like that. And I'll ask them afterwards, how's your hip, how's your shoulders? Let's talk about that.
That actually makes sense, because I've heard testimonies of people who took on healing by a trained Reiki person, and I think what ended up happening was the trained Reikier ended up putting their negative energies into the person being healed, and then they woke up and got super sick for 2-3 weeks after. In one case, I even heard the guy got hospitalized as a result of improper Reiki healing. That would make sense if they both have blockages and then it's just swirling between them.
Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, because you're definitely connecting with the other person. Yeah, that's a big one. I know that that sometimes too, the recipient, because I've even had some of my recipients where they maybe get cold symptoms after, things like that. Never anybody hospitalized, but I always put that as part of a release. Helping the body actually eliminate, because a lot of the times our elimination organs aren't working as well as they can. We hold in so many repressed emotions and feelings, and even memories and past traumas. It's sometimes it takes a cold or a good cry or something to help eliminate that.
Usually. I've even heard of that too. It's cry therapy. People make themselves cry just because it feels better afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, laughter therapy is pretty much it. Yeah. Okay, intuition. There's no right or wrong way, and certainly no only way to do Reiki. In fact, you'll probably find as your intuition develops, and Reiki does increase your intuition, you will devise your own way and with which you will feel comfortable. It absolutely cannot harm or destroy, for what can be harmed by love. The energy will not revitalize life, create harmony, the energy will only revitalize life, create harmony, and reveal the truth behind all illness and situation. And that'll come in time too. You will, like with certain affirmations or Reiki principles, practicing Reiki in daily life, which I'm going to teach you how to do as well, because I think that's important, having a daily practice, even if it's 10 minutes. Yeah, it'll just help you get back into your intuition, and then you'll start to see too how it's revitalizing life, how you can create harmony in your body and in others, even your pets, in your energy fields in your house. People sometimes ask about terminal disease, such as cancer or bacterial and viral infections in regard to Reiki treatments. In all cases, the Reiki energy contributes to revitalizing our bodies through assisting the immune system to strengthen its defenses and its resistance to these conditions, just as a healthy plant resists disease and insect invasion. Reiki does not cure anything, but assist the individual to facilitate their own healing. This is the real power of Reiki. So this is why when people who are unfamiliar with Reiki, oh, what's Reiki? I say it's a kick-ass relaxation technique, because as long as I get them on the table and get them to relax, they're gonna feel better, because as soon as they do, their body will naturally start boosting their immune system, naturally start detoxing what it is they need. All you need to do is like get them there. Yeah. And then the body knows what to do. The body is a supercomputer that we still don't understand to this day. You know, we're creating our own computers, but we don't understand our own. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of power behind this, and just letting our master computer figure it out. So gratitude. As Reiki is given through us from a much higher healing force, it is important to acknowledge this and give thanks after each session. A Reiki channel does not heal. We are merely the vehicle for Reiki energy, which facilitates the healing. When used with gratitude, it is a truly humbling feeling from experience. The more we give thanks to our creative force for this energy, the stronger the Reiki responds and flows. So we will get more into gratitudes. I'll get you into like a daily gratitude practice, so it'll be easy to implement this after your sessions with clients, and even create excitement around bringing this gratitude practice to your clients. We're also going to get into some pre-session stuff when we get into the level 2, when you're actually using this as a practice to heal other people, because that's quite important to your intention going into a practice, and the work that you do before a client even comes into the room. What to expect. Once you have been attuned to the Reiki energy, all you need to do to activate it is to place your hands on whomever or whatever needs it. Remember that all matter is made of energy, so all matter can utilize the benefits of Reiki energy. We do not need to enter an altered state of being for energy to flow. That's for all my psychonauts out there.
So no avatar state, no Super Saiyan.
But you just don't need it. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist or that you can't go there, because you sure can. But you don't need to. This stuff that you can bring back into this world. You're the guru now. It will flow whenever the need is there. However, it is best to be mindful and respectful of the fact that we are channeling the energy. So don't let it get to your ego. You're not the source energy, you are a vessel for Just, it's when we get into money mindset in a few modules too, that'll be another one that comes up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to heal the body, you must first heal the mind. Plato. So chakras. We're going to get more into the chakras, but these are the symbols that you were thinking of.
Yeah, that's exactly the rainbow type symbols that I was thinking.
So, yeah, so the colors, they come to me quite often when I'm doing Reiki, even when I was receiving Reiki. So I kind of already knew that that was going to be how the energy was going to talk to me. The symbols themselves, they all have different lotus petals. They have a symbol that actually represents what the meaning is, and then they have the triangles, the downward triangles, so right triangles, and then the star.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot to talk about the chakras. Even people who study only the chakras, that is their specialty, that's what they dive into. Most of the stuff, much like Native American literature, it was all through pictures. And when they weren't able to communicate and pass down the messages anymore because of oppression and different things that were coming into play, a lot of messages got lost. So we're just trying to translate pictures and bring more meaning to them now. It's like the hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
You know?
Paintings and whatnot.
Yeah. So, but there is a lot of research behind these right now. It's just that some of it's new age, some of it's still traditional.
Old school, yeah.
Yeah, like the images themselves. Some chakra affirmations. You're going to get printouts of these for next week when you come, but you can take down some of these ones if you want them. I'll speak them out loud right now. Maybe we can do a little breathing exercise, and I'll bring you through a little chakra affirmation meditation. Okay, so to legs crossed. Figure.
Why is it always up? I always feel more.
The reason why we do up is because you're receiving energy. If you put it down, then you're blocking the energy. It can come in through your head, but your hands are very, very special place. The mudras, the reason why you have different mudras is because you're talking to different planets, represent different fingers. So you're calling in the message from the different planets.
Gotcha.
So this one's knowledge. But you don't have to have any mudras either. You can just play them and just receive energy. So close your eyes. Draw your shoulders back. Stand up straight. Imagine your spine is a string of pearly beads being lifted up. Bring your shoulder blades together. Deep breath in through your nose. Hold up at the top. Breathe out through your mouth. We'll do that 2 more times. And with your eyes closed, repeat after me. I feel balanced.
I feel balanced.
In my desire, my sexuality, and self-confidence.
In my desire, my sexuality, and my self-confidence.
I have an abundance of strength and energy.
I have an abundance of strength and energy.
I express my individuality in a divine, perfect way.
I express my individuality in a divine and perfect way.
I can always have the power.
I can always have the power.
And will to achieve my goals.
And will to achieve my goals.
I am love, loving, and be loved.
I am love, loving, and be loved.
I communicate effectively.
I communicate effectively.
And create from knowingness unique onto my being.
And create from knowingness unique onto my being.
I see and perceive all things clearly.
I see and perceive all things clearly.
Intuition is my God speaking directly to me.
Intuition is my God speaking directly to me.
I know the wisdom,
I know the wisdom,
understanding, and I seek always, and what I seek always comes into my consciousness upon my request.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. What I seek always comes into my consciousness upon my request.
What I seek always comes into my consciousness upon my request.
When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah. What did it feel like?
Just relax. Just full body. I know when I get the like dizziness up here, it's like it's a full open.
Yeah.
I can never tell if the crown's open though.
Well, the crown is your aura field. It's not actually in your body.
Oh, I thought it was like actually the top of my head. I'm like, I can't feel anything on top of my head. I can feel light dizziness and relaxation up through the core, but I can only assume it's open.
Perceiving the energy. Any person can be attuned to Reiki. Age is no barrier, nor any handicap. Once attuned, the energy can be felt in many different ways. It is all a matter of perception, how you perceive the energy to feel. Different feelings that you may experience in your hands include heat, icy cold, tingling, pulsing, fine vibrations, heaviness of the hands, or your hands may feel as if they're stuck like glue to a certain position, to mention a few. Because there are other things. The stuck like glue, that's one that happens to me quite often.
I usually just
Also
get
heat, yeah.
I get a lot of heat. I would keep warm.
You can experience a number of these different feelings within a short space of time, or you may just experience one for an extended period of time. There is no set pattern. If you're giving Reiki to someone else, they may not necessarily perceive the energy in the same way as you do. Your hands may feel icy cold, yet the person receiving the Reiki energy may feel like it's quite hot. You may also experience different sensations in each hand during a session. Every treatment is unique. And even though every session is unique, it is still nice to like have a little dialogue and take notes, because these are your clients. A lot of them are going to be repeat clients. So to have some notes, these kind of things, so you can bring them up when you do a little bit of coaching afterwards. Acute and chronic conditions. Reiki is also effective through plaster casts, walls, clothing, wood, lead, in fact, anything. So there's no need to remove any clothing for treatments unless you're doing massage with it or aromatherapy, different things like that. Sometimes you might want to ask them, they'll remove different things. I know if I do the waterfall technique with somebody with using aromatherapy, then I like them have their shirt off because it goes on the back, a hot towel and things. So acute conditions such as accidents and sudden illness will respond much quicker to treatments than chronic conditions will. As chronic conditions have been of long-standing duration, they will need more Reiki energy over a longer period of time to bring about change and harmony within the body. Which only makes sense, right? Cleansing and releasing. Sometimes cleansing reactions occur as toxins and release from the body, which may present themselves as headaches, diarrhea, nausea, or cold and flu symptoms. These reactions are not negative signs, but a sign that the healing is being effective and moving forward. If this occurs, the person involved will need additional Reiki and plenty of water to get through to the other side of the phase. Water is always recommended and important after each session as it helps flush toxins out of the system. Emotionally, some people may release a few tears, which is also a good sign. In this instance, it's important to continue the Reiki energy flow through such a reaction. So in other words, don't stop just because someone's crying. Just continue. Breathe through it and help them breathe through it. Because as you're breathing through it, they will too, you know? And all emotions, they just need to pass through us. And when it comes to the water, I always do have water or tea that's been sitting there, things like that, right? What's that called? Oh my God, why did that word slip me? Brewing, tea brewing. So regardless, it's nice to have something there for them. Usually after this experience, people can feel lighter and or emotionally stronger as unwanted emotions have been unblocked and cleared out. Okay, reflections on the chakra meditation. So we already did talk about this. I'm just going to move on through unless you wanted to. Okay. Okay, so we are going to do our first attunement today. Do you want it on camera or do you want me to shut it off for this?
You can record it if you want.
Okay.
I always feel hypocritical as a cameraman and photographer to be like, no, don't film.
Right.
It's like that is fine.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Okay, so if you want to take a seat there and move yourself just up a little bit, I'm going to come behind you. Now I do like using crystals. I'm no crystal expert or anything, but I do find that the healing energies are definitely something special. So if you want to place,
I thought about being a crystal expert one time, and then I looked at how many crystals there are to memorize, and it's like being a mathematician.
yes,
Hundreds.
yeah, same with the mushrooms. I wanted to do mycology, and I was like, I'm going to let Paul Stamets have that one. You really have to love something when you dive deep into the rabbit holes, and I found definitely where that is for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you want to close your eyes, deep breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. I'm actually going to burn some sage.
Okay.
Hear this energy before we go in.
I think the crystals are actually good because it kind of makes me put my palms up.
Put that weight there. So if you want to stand up,
I can.
I'll do this smudging session. Before we get into this. Just close your eyes, lift your arms up.
Up like
Yeah.
out there.
That's good. Some deep breaths for me here. Okay. So you can sit back down now, Tristan. Take some deep breaths. And you're going to want to sit up straight. Curl of beads. Shoulder blades touching or as close as they can. Suck in your chi. It's your core, your willpower. Pull it in, engage that energy. And we'll do it again. Okay, Tristan, I'm going to tap you on the head, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Too often I get the full body heat thing going. Usually it's really isolated. That's nice.
What did you feel when you were getting your attunement? Heat? Did you see anything?
I could have sworn I could hear a singing bowl.
Yes.
And I don't hear it now, so I don't know. No, I didn't see anything. I feel like when you make a little heat spot with your hands, just equal and evenly distributed, which is nice.
Yeah.
Relaxed. The peaceful relaxed, not the take a nap relaxed. There are different relaxing.
Yeah. It's more like a harmony relax.
Yeah.
Homeostasis.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, scientifically. Okay. spiritually, I think it's harmony and balance.
Like I felt a few, I don't know if shocks would be the proper word, but it's the best I could describe it, kind of like between my hands and the crystals.
Yeah, that's good. The singing bowl was definitely something that was coming through me. I heard it. It wasn't me who did it. I heard it.
You heard it too?
And I passed it in. Yeah, yeah, and that was a first for me. So it's cool that you brought it up.
I didn't see any rainbows, but
yeah,
I was also
it's different
very
for everyone. Are you more of an audible person, behavior, or kinesthetic audio?
kinesthetic. I mean, visual is good to an extent, but for the most part, I probably do best listening.
Yeah, so that's why it was music instead
while
of visual.
I'm focusing. Like I'm very visually stimulated too, but to sit and watch a video, I actually do better if I'm doing something else and listening to it than just staring at it, because I don't know, I get lost thoughts a lot.
Yeah.
I was very analytical too. Well, when you said willpower, I was really focusing on that drive that is my willpower. I was kind of focusing on that.
I felt like you were letting it drain out, in a sense of the word, like when I was there ready to attune. And so that's why I went and I got the smudge. And I'm like, let's do a little bit of cleansing.
Oh.
And then I was telling you, I'm like, engage that cord, like bring it in. Because we definitely, I think it's going to be important to strengthen that area in our time working together.
Everything in general as a whole, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
So,
well, we can continue into this now. I think this slideshow may actually. Oh, it's not done.
I knew it.
It's okay. You can stay there and just move in beside you here. You've been fully attuned to your first level of Reiki. You are now a channel for universal life force energy. When there is a need, your hands will switch on. You can also, I find that this is like really powerful too. If you need energy just for yourself.
I've seen people do that.
Yeah.
I think it starts the heat, and then you can kind of more manipulate it once you have it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I like the cold start where I just kind of have my hands apart and then let it build.
That's cool too. That's definitely.
Then I try to take the bubble and put it somewhere, like if I have a headache or something.
Yeah. That is.
That's what I thought Reiki was. Like you make a little bubble and then it's like, okay, your shoulder hurts, bubble.
It's definitely a male thing, because it's only guys that I've heard use it and manipulate it in that way. But I just thought it was so interesting, because you kind of come up with that all on your own of how.
I've seen research of it as well, and there's two basic methods that I've seen. I think the guy was probably Japanese as well. When he was teaching, you can start, if you don't know what you're doing, you can start really close, and when you feel the heat, you bring your hands slowly away, and then eventually you can feel the heat from a distance. And then the other method, which I do think there's a bit of a cheat to it, is it's like a little origami square and put it on a pin, and then you put your hands around it, and the heat from your hands will actually make it move. So there definitely is a bit of a scientific aspect to it.
Yeah.
Because the heat will give the air an upflow, but when you get good at it, you're supposed to be able to change directions and pick which way you want it to spin.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so powerful.
So, and like little basics like that are all fine and dandy, but if you don't know what you're doing with it.
Yeah. You're definitely going to get that foundation here, and then you can master those techniques. So, yeah. This is going to be really exciting, the work that you're going to bring to this world.
I sure hope so.
So when there's a need, your hands will switch on, and this will vary from a few minutes to a lengthy period of time depending upon the need. When treating yourself or someone else, place your hands where the problem is, and the energy will go to the cause. For example, your headache. Put your hands on your head, follow your intuition, and guide you as to where. Although the cause of the headache may be a digestion problem or stemming from one other cause, the energy will find its way because it's coming from a higher force. This will account for sensations being felt in the body other than where your hands are actually placed. That's why a lot of the time I said they'll get that glue sensation. It's like, or even, I guess it's more of a magnet when you're being forced into an area, but it will tell me like, stay on this area for an amount of time, and then it's like after that time is done, I'll go all around the rest of the body like pretty fast, or maybe stop at somewhere else for like 5-10 minutes, and then bam, everything's flow. And there are pendulums as well that you can use to just double check in. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely something we can dive into if it's for you.
I think it's interesting that when you did my first Reiki session, you said not so much my solar plexus, but this is why I'm here. Water.
Yeah,
The
sacral.
orange one.
Sacral.
That's the belly button one.
Yeah.
Sacral. Like you felt that was like a primary focus area, and then when my life situation turned more for the better, like that was the area that I felt relaxation in, the most relaxation in. So it's just interesting putting the two together.
I love it. So you're moving from the second chakra into the third chakra.
Well, once that opened, the rest was fine.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So let's talk chronic conditions. Chronic conditions usually take longer to heal than acute conditions, and often are of non-physical cause originally, because the original cause has not been treated or released. It is manifested as a physical symptom in the body. In these cases, Reiki energy will automatically go to the original cause, and in doing so may bring up some aches and pains or an emotion that has been locked up in the body. Although this can happen and keep the Reiki flowing to assist this release, as it is part of the clearing process. This may need to continue in short bursts over a period of time. For example, 30 to 60 minutes per day for a few days, or whatever time you have, or a couple of times a week for a few weeks. Use your inner guidance on this. The chronic problem may be an old injury, or a suppressed emotion that has been forgotten by your conscious mind. But the subconscious mind has remembered it all too well. The treatment is the same. Reiki, the symptom. If another symptom surfaces, Reiki that too. This is a releasing and unblocking emotions that are causing the symptom. So all chronic conditions start with the spiritual body.
I think that actually makes sense, because I've triggered headaches while doing Reiki. Like trying to push the energy out my hands to make like a little heat bubble or something, and then I don't know if I always thought it was like a blockage in my head or something, or it seems more like exactly what it was saying there. When you're doing Reiki, it will cause symptoms that are the source of other symptoms.
Wherever the root of the problem is.
Yeah.
So you do have to go in steps. And so you start with one symptom, going to the next symptom, to the next symptom. Doctors do that too, just in a different way. With Reiki, it's usually that we're drawn to the root first, and then to come up and start healing the rest of it. And all chronic conditions are caused by something in our spiritual body, a repressed emotion, something that we didn't release. Emotions are supposed to move through us freely. And when we don't do that, when we don't express ourselves, and we're not taught to express ourselves, we're told as kids, you stop that.
Sit down.
Yeah, sit down, shut up. You know?
Whining.
Yeah, we're not taught any emotional intelligence. And so we start locking stuff up right away. And then it takes like another trigger to all of a sudden that turns into a hip pain or something. It's going to find a weakness in the body and it's going to sit there. And every time that that's triggered, it's going to be something else. And this is where the chakras come in with the energy work. It's like we know that, you know, well, or let's say the source energy, and as you're attuned, you're going to start realizing, okay, well, this is coming from something in their childhood, and that's why it's manifesting in the hip in this way. So we're going to work on the sacral chakra or the root chakra, and in that time, yeah, it's going to start unblocking. And, so some treatments. During Reiki treatments, do not attempt to diagnose health conditions unless you're using it in conjunction with some other therapeutic practice, which allows you to do this. However, so for this, you don't want to diagnose, but you can make referrals. In our spiritual business part, I'll teach you how to do that, where you'll be able to work with your client, to work with a doctor in order to build a relationship and be like, you know, I'm doing the healing in this way, naturopath is doing healing in that way. We're communicating together as part of a team to help this client. So you're not the one doing the diagnosing, but maybe you can lead them in the direction to get that diagnosis, because people do need that little push. They don't want it. I mean, they're coming to you because they're finally taking health into their own hands, but they do need that push to take the other steps as well. We are just a vessel to allow the healing energy to flow through. Reiki will also enhance any other forms of healing you may be using, including conventional medicine. You can always find time to use Reiki. 1 minute is better than nothing, but 10 minutes is obviously more beneficial, and 20 minutes is better still. The more time you can give, the better for both people concerned. For as you give, you are also receiving the Reiki energy for your own benefit. You do often say 60 minutes is ideal. When people are starting, it's usually $1 a minute that they can charge, but that does move up as you gain new clients, new experience, get better at your practice. And of course, that all starts with you as well, getting good at healing yourself, and heal your animals, heal the people living with you, and you can ripple out. You can Reiki yourself while on the phone with your one free hand, which can have a calming effect if the conversation becomes tense. You may find that it helps you to find the right words to say in such a situation, or refrain from using words that may not be appropriate. It is also highly beneficial to Reiki yourself while in bed, watching TV, or at any time you are relaxing, as it will enhance the state of relaxation. Use Reiki on your pets, plant seeds prior to planting, food while it's fresh, and to revitalize your water. You can even use it to harmonize medicines. Reiki is a wonderful first aid tool and can be used in conjunction with normal first aid procedures. For cuts, just hold your hands over the cut, either with or without a bandage, or as needed. You can also Reiki the bandage. You know, you can, if you're working on your computer doing marketing or anything, you can Reiki your computer to send out those good vibes. You know, there's it all comes full circle, and you'll see as we're going through this how this energy that we're using to heal people can also be used in our business, which is heart-centered business, to help create a bigger ripple effect. Reiki energy will greatly speed up the healing process for burns. Treat in the usual way, e.g. cold water, then give Reiki to the nearest point of the burn as you can. It is also helpful and comforting to place your hands on the top of the chest, as it's calming for the person to relieve anxiety, which if you're in a situation, you know, and everyone's like, is there a doctor? Is there a doctor? A doctor goes, runs over. You can also be there too as support for the person. You know, you don't have to be the doctor, but you can be there for support. And that's really what the person needs.
Yeah.
They need that calming energy. They need that support. They need to know that they're not alone. You know, you don't have to be the hero that knows the CPR. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know if you do, or if you're that hero of a person.
It's outdated by a few years, but yeah.
Yeah.
I've taken it a few times.
Yeah. I got that vibe that you, that you had that in you somewhere.
I should take it again.
Yeah.
The job place that I'm signed on with, BPI, they actually offer it free.
Oh, yay.
So, only problem is it's kind of like Star Wars. You have to book it like months in advance because they fill up so quickly because it's free.
Yeah. Maybe that's just a sign for you to make that investment of your time. Okay, giving and receiving. Sometimes when giving Reiki, you may experience an ache or pain yourself. Remember that when you give Reiki, you're also receiving it. So it may be something within you that has come up to be healed. You may actually fill it with energy first, and then it overflows into the person you are giving it to. So if you don't feel much happening to your hands initially, don't worry. Just keep flowing the Reiki energy because you are in need at that time and will utilize the energy as it flows through you. So you do always have to be healed first as the vessel. But
That makes sense.
yeah, but you'll get that. It's just, I guess the big thing that I'm trying to say here is just keep the energy flowing. Don't stop or think for a second that it's not working. You just need to continue. I feel really activated and hot right now.
Makes sense. Well, heat's usually my main source. Like that's how I know that it's flowing well. Like I can walk around in a t-shirt right now and it's just like I'm sweating. Gotta dig deep to do that, but it's like the first trick that I learned was how to stay warm in the winter. And then I'm always overheating when I'm doing energy.
I wonder how that's gonna transmute into this practice. What are you gonna do?
Like kind of what you read at the beginning, how you can actually feel cold. I was thinking there has to be different like levels, different types. Like heat, you can feel heat to keep yourself warm, but I'm sure you can also feel cold to keep your like cool down in the summertime too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or those like super hot sandy areas. I don't want to say that. It sounds wrong, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rainforest Conservancy, I'm sure it's hot there.
Yeah, but it gets cold at night. Like if you're in anywhere in the mountains, it's like you're freezing at night, and then in the daytime you're getting sunburned.
You can get sunburned in the winter too.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, biosyn scanning. Okay, biosyn scanning is one of the easiest Reiki techniques. Bio means stick and sen means line. So you're basically looking for areas of sickness in the body. What is difficult in gauging the what you find in the energy field. Sometimes you can feel hot or cold, tingling, or other sensations, each for which may indicate something different. Ideally, with time, the practitioner will be able to discern what each feeling indicates. Here are some techniques. Starting at your client's crown, you can run your palm down alongside the front of the client's body, keeping your hands at least 2 or 3 inches above the client. Scanning is done strictly in the energy field. The back of the body can also be scanned. So yeah, that's just
What is the crown?
The crown is your energy field. It's above you. And you can increase your field. You can literally make a big circle.
If it was like where you would wear a crown, if it's like the top of your head, like when babies come out, it's crowning, or if it's like the soft spot. I don't know. I always thought it was like that.
Marquizo or Dandruvalo Maltesevich. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he talked about there being like points where you can like literally pull the energy out of your head or receive energy. And I'm gonna send you the link once I find it because it was pretty incredible, and I think that's more of what would be up your alley. So, yeah, so the first technique is literally from the top to the bottom. And I actually do that. I call it a body scan. Mm-hmm. And I do that in the beginning of any session, really. As your hand moves, note any changes in temperatures, any sensations, tingling, pain, or discomfort you might feel in your palm or in your body. When you're scanning the client. These are the areas where you feel differences are the ones in all likelihood require special attention during the treatment. So yeah, we do the scan first and we do that. I also do like pop-up Reiki sweeps. So in that, it's kind of like a scan, except for a little bit different. If you want to stand up, I'll show you.
Reiki sweep.
Yeah, so I'll just like put out for some of my marketing, I'm going to do a Reiki sweep. Whoever shows up.
Supposed to be facing you?
Yeah, that's fine. So for that, I'm bringing the energy up through your head and down out your hands. And I'll do like a Reiki sweep for maybe like 5-10 minutes. And in that time, I'm also able to scan your body and see where there might be any tension. So that can lead into
That's actually what I do when I do like standing meditation Reiki. I bring it up to my solar plexus and kind of push it back down, and then I kind of, it's like vertically, if you're laying in a bathtub, you're squishing the water up and then bringing it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just what feels.
Well, you're stopping it there. Yeah, it definitely is natural. But again, we're coming back to why are you stuck here? You're only bringing the energy.
That's a good question.
Because yeah,
and if I knew, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Let's bring it up. Like imagine your feet rooted into the ground.
Literally. Another way, I'd bring it up and then out. Because somehow bringing it up and up just feels funny. I don't know.
Get comfortable with the uncomfortable, my friend. Yeah, imagine just your feet rooted into the ground. So far into the ground that it's touching the crystals in the center of the earth. Really get a good visualization of that. How connected you truly are. You bring the energy up, pull it up through your feet, all the way up through your head, back down and out your hands. Maybe 3 to 10 times. It's good.
Yeah. I used to do that at work when I thought nobody was watching. Then one guy's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, just relaxing.
I think one of the reasons why you might be doing that and feeling it's natural is because that's kind of like a Tai Chi move, right?
Feels normal, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but it's kind of what it looks like. It's like.
Could be. I've never taken Tai Chi. It's on my list. And in saying that, I should probably put it on my list.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it was not my thing. Definitely more into the Kundalini yoga spoke to me more, but it was fun. It was a good experience. So scanning does not have to occur in one smooth motion, but often proceeds in several stroking motions, pushing out when there's a blockage found. Hibiki is the dissonance between the positive energy in the practitioner's hand and the negative energy of disease in the client, which causes the sensations described. The practitioner might pause to confirm the presence of sensations, note their strength, or discuss them with the client before moving on. So if you do feel dissonance, or that there may be disease in a certain area, you can stop and have a conversation and just say, are you feeling anything in this area, or is there something that you'd like to tell me about your health right now? Because maybe they're coming to you for relaxation or stress management, and they're not telling you that they're actually sick, but you know. Mm-hmm. So there is opportunity for some coaching and stuff there. You
It's interesting when, I think I might have told you this before, when I was at an event with a place called ACN, a guy who's like super multi-millionaire, selling his pitch. He got into how spiritualism was part of his journey to succeed and become a millionaire. And he expressed the story that he went and saw a Reiki, like a master. And when the guy did his scan, he literally went like, when you were 12 in the month of August, you broke your thumb. You sprained your ankle when you were 8 in the month of December, like assuming ice, and like he got it right down to like the month. He said the actual date, so I don't know if he actually gave like a Tuesday or 23rd or something, but
no,
he's like,
that's
some of these people are really like, and because it was so accurate, like it almost scared him. Like, it's not just a parlor trick.
mhm.
It'd be interesting to be able to do that.
Is that what your goal is on with this?
Maybe. I don't know. Reminds me of the Christmas movie I just watched last night with Anastasia. Santa Claus crashes his sleigh, and because he's Santa Claus, even as adults, he walks up to everybody and is like, Judy, hi, do you remember when you wrote me this letter about wanting a sewing machine? And he's like, I've been watching you, and like, so great to see that you're doing good in college. And she's like, this creepy ass stranger just comes up and just, it's almost like, it reminds me of Reiki, like just knows everything about the person.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't let
But
that
that's
stop
a-
you back. That's a gift.
That's the source of psychic energy too.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll do some work on mindset and things like that too, because it truly is a gift. And for me personally, I identify more with being a coach. I love doing these teacher trainings because I want more of you out there doing this work. And I was given the gift to be able to teach. But for me, I'm more like the coaching. I like seeing you guys succeed to the best of your abilities. I like helping you troubleshoot whatever problems are coming up and helping you guys be the master in these modalities.
Well, I suppose I'm also kind of at that crossroads where there are things that you clearly know about that need fixing, and I'm tired of saying I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately this is a tool to just set everything straight and right again.
Yeah.
Without having any more like train derailments down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you've learned from that. You've brought back from that disaster a lot of love, a lot of lessons. And now you're getting into a new chapter of your life where you're going to be giving back and creating a bigger impact and even making some money along the way.
I just want to feel better. Like I said a while ago, I don't want to feel evil. Like I don't want to feel yucky all the time. Like,
That comes with practicing
I was
love,
actually
right?
surprised
What's
when
the opposite of all of those things?
love, happiness, gratitude.
Yeah. States of being, peace and love.
I was surprised when you said you felt my willpower dwindling, but at the same time it makes sense because it's my main.
It might not have been dwindling. Maybe it was overflowing. But either way, it was coming out. And I was
Like
just
it's
saying.
my strongest, but it's getting tired. Like it's been going the longest and it needs a break. Which is why I just kind of want things to just, as you say, flow naturally, just happen and just
Let go and allow flow.
stop forcing so hard to get nowhere.
Yeah. Learn how to reward yourself.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay, so let's go into some hand placements.
It was fun.
Okay, when working on someone else's face, use a clean tissue for hygiene and keep your hands light in pressure, especially over the eyes. Heavy hands can be uncomfortable. So you don't actually have to touch, but you definitely can, especially for using oils or any creams or anything. I definitely am, and it's all very, very soft. You know? Eyes. You can do forehead, like third eye. I often will just use my thumb and just a little bit of pressure. You can ask your clients to cover their eyes like this with their fists so they can get tap into their third eye.
I actually tried something. When I saw it, it was meant to block chakras, but somehow when I did it to myself, touching 2 points at the same time, I don't know, it felt nice.
Yeah.
It felt relaxing, and I couldn't figure out why.
That would be because you're letting the energy flow through. You're doing a concentrated area, right? So it's like, yeah, you can have energy going through the entire thing, but you can still, have 2 energy points, and it's like bam, bam, bam energy, right? That's kind of what's happening. If those are 2 places where you need the extra shock, then it would give you.
It felt good when I did it.
Yeah, it would give you a piece, like a sense of peace and relaxation after.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So chest and groin, use common sense in these areas and do not touch people where it's inappropriate and where they do not want to be touched.
Especially with a lot of pressure.
Yes. If they have a problem in these areas, then near is acceptable, is good enough. Remember that Reiki energy does go where it's needed. So when we're working on chakras, if you get into, I want to do chakra therapy specifically, or whatever it is that you specialize in, then when we're getting into the root and the sacral chakra, that's like the testes and the ovaries, so you're gonna have to just talk to them about that. You might get people with hernia, like a lot of men that I know end up getting hernias like around in their groin area, and it's like, I want to relieve that pain, and I will relieve that pain, but it's uncomfortable to have your hands directly on there. So above, near, anything is good enough, as long as you're visualizing the healing and you're using your breath work and you're practicing the love energy and tapping into your intuition. The energy will flow. The more that you let go of these other things that are holding you back, the more energy will go in as well.
It's good to know.
So the thymus glands at the top of the chest, just above the neck, and the area of the immune system. Reiki this as much as possible. By doing this, it's found that we're usually not as susceptible to all of the colds, flus, and viruses that go around. However, we do happen to come down with one. It tends not to last very long because of our body's immune system is stronger and able to deal with it more effectively. We kind of do that naturally, I think, or I do, and so some other people that I teach, but it's just like a love thing. Or your heart and your belly. One of my teachers, he would do that.
Okay.
Touch his belly and his heart.
I've actually often wondered that, based off other research that I've seen. They kind of said that you want like 2 points of contact so you can complete the circle, literally like an energy circuit.
Yeah.
That does apply with Reiki and thinking?
Yes.
Or it can.
Yeah, the way that I visualize it though, and this is just for myself, and it's the messages are speaking to me in my language, and they'll speak to you in your language. And the way that I see it is that the energy is always moving full circle. And when you're touching 2 pressure points, that's a linear shock. This person, this center to this center, like as if you were doing like a heart, like doing a heart shocking thing, right? It's not that the heart shocking is not painful to the person. It gives a sense of relief, but it is a shock of energy. And so I see that part as linear, but then our energy, when we're in flow and when we're practicing Reiki, that's always a circle.
Because I would think linear would be like, this is linear from one point to the other, whereas if I do this, it's going full, or maybe it doesn't arc like that. I'm here to learn this. All these things.
I would, I still see it as
or
going
more
from.
It would come in.
It would make I would see it as, I see it as in between your hands. so that it would be linear from this point to this point, no matter where it is on the body, through the body.
So it still kind of bounces back.
Yeah. So the 2 points that needs it. But then the energy is still always moving in a circle. And again, this is just me from my own personal experience. You may get a different download from source telling you something different, and that's perfectly fine.
I've studied it enough to start to really question who's accurate and who's just making stuff up. Like even doing the chakras, like I've seen 2 different charts where they have the meanings of sacral and willpower just completely backwards.
Yeah.
And then they'll have heart chakra. It's just heart, right?
Yes.
There's no other element. Like it's not air or wind or anything?
Yeah, it's air, wind,
Okay.
lungs.
I always heard that your throat was the wind.
No, air
element.
is your heart. That's your 4. Your lower triangle is the 4 main elements. Well, actually, the heart is.
See, that's where I get confused. I hear it one way so much, and then I hear somebody else say something completely different. And I go, okay, well, either I'm wrong or they're wrong. Nobody likes to assume.
Yeah. Throat is your truth, and that element is like actually ether. It's what's outside of us. That's when we start getting into literally the higher chakras, the out of element stuff.
Cool. Okay.
So emotions. If emotional issues rise to the surface, give Reiki to the heart area or slightly above. This area is also appropriate for assisting ourselves and others to deal with our fears and any traumatic circumstances we may be experiencing. Reiki is also ideal for all stress-related conditions, as stress is one of the main contributors to breaking down the immune system. Again, if you're feeling emotion, if your client is feeling emotion on the table, starts crying or anything, you do want to continue the Reiki exactly where it is that you are, but maybe you bring a hand to your heart to give her extra support. I don't know why I said her, but I guess I imagine you working with women, men and women.
Well, I'll be practicing with you, so that makes
sense. Okay, so do you have any questions about the hand positions anymore? We will actually go into what the hand positions are, but I think that's Reiki too.
I think I'm good for now. I think I had a question,
but
I can't remember if that was the question that I asked or if there was a separate one that got in the back burner, got lost.
We were talking about linear, or like how it would, if it's from the 2 points. So, like I like doing my head and my heart, but one of my teachers, he did his heart and his belly, but he was a nutrition teacher, so that's why. But he also spent some time in Japan, and he brought back a lot of Reiki principles to attach into it as part of the modality. So let's do a little bit of self Reiki now with our own hand positions. So we've got our eyes. If you want to go deeper to actually like see visuals, you can
put pressure on your eyes to see the light.
It doesn't have to be pressure. You don't want to hurt your eyes, but you do want to use like your knuckles because it'll make it go dark. When you're like this, it's not black.
Gets through.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is whole hand, right? So you're not blocked. Would be all energy.
So what am I doing while I'm just touching, or is that the point? The touching just does it all automatically.
You need to be out of your head and just focus on breath. Just allow. A lot of what you're doing in the time that you're practicing these hand movements is letting go and allowing flow. So even if you say that to yourself as an affirmation while you're practicing these hand movements, I'm letting go, I'm allowing flow, I'm letting go, I'm allowing flow, I'm letting go, I'm allowing flow, I'm letting go, I'm allowing flow. Eventually everything will quiet and you'll just be you and your breath and the healing. Another one, temples.
That's the source of my migraine.
Want more like your palm? That hurt. do your ears, same thing. Your forehead, your back of your head. This one my clients really seem to enjoy. I don't know if it's just my type of clients, but it's like a cradling of the head. I often have people who have traumas from their childhood, and they weren't nurtured by their parents in the same way. So having like a little cradling of the head brings them a lot of relief.
I was going to say
and
this is
support.
more like the stereotypical relax, just kick back and see what people do.
Yeah. What else we got? We got throat. So one in the front, one in the back. And this is all self-Reiki as well. There are other ones. Yeah, here. Do your throat, your heart, solar plexus, liver, lungs, and pancreas.
That right side?
I think I might be doing the sides wrong. I think this is liver and that's pancreas.
I saw your liver was more centered.
I'm getting confused.
Pancreas, kidneys, maybe?
Well,
Although kidneys are more like back.
Yeah, and I think liver's still on one side more. Even the heart's on one side more.
Yeah.
I think they're on opposite sides.
No, have to Google it.
We'll do a body chart later. Okay. Kenyoku. This is a Japanese Reiki technique for purification. In Japan, before one enters a temple or sacred place, usually there is a place near the entrance with running water, which is used for ritual cleansing to purify yourself before entering. Kenyoku means dry bathing. It's a technique for ritual purification using energy rather than water. This is a good technique to use before and after giving a Reiki treatment. It can also be used at various times through your day or at any time that feels you need to release negative energy. Kenyoku can be done either with actual physical contact or it can be done with non-contact, just off the surface of the body in the aura. While allowing the breath to remain as effortless as possible, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. First, bring your right hand up to your left shoulder, then the tips of your fingers at the point where your collarbone ends, palm flat and facing the body. Move over your hands diagonally across your body from the left shoulders towards your right hip and in a smooth, measured, sweeping or brushing action. So in the creator's version, you exhale with ha sound as you do this. In Kundalini Yoga, for part of release, it's har. So, again, different modalities are saying different things. Part of this is to tune into your intuition and say, what is it for you? So that the sweeping, I think why we've held on to it for so long as part of the modality is because it's something that everybody can identify with as it being helpful. Mm-hmm. When things start switching up, like some of these sounds and mantras and things like that, you'll bring in what's right for you. So next, bring your left hand up to your right shoulder, the tips of your fingers at a point near where your collarbone ends, palm flat and facing the body. Move your hand diagonally down your body from the right shoulders towards the left hip in a smooth, measured, sweeping or brushing action. Exhale with ha sound as you do so. Repeat this sequence twice more, making a total of 3 sweeping brushing gestures from each shoulder to the opposite hip. So ha.
Gotcha.
Ha.
Across me.
Yeah. But you can also do it. I'll show you a hand position later where it's actually with your hands.
I've seen
So-
massage artists, they do that after they massage someone. They literally like get the
Yeah.
energy off and have to
Yes.
flick it.
Right here.
The traditional, you're covered in dust, you're just
Right? Dirt off your shoulders, my friend.
cat.
I mean, you have signed up for the entire thing, Reiki level 1, 2, 3, and the spiritual business. So I don't really have to talk about the advantages of Reiki second degree, but I'll dive into them just so you know what to expect over the next few weeks. So Reiki 2 is an optional advanced level which provides the participant with the opportunity to attune to higher levels of Reiki energy through power symbols. On completion, it allows you to increase the potency of energy flow at will, enabling you to achieve similar effects as Reiki 1 in approximately half the time. Distant healing technique. Distant healing is introduced in Reiki level 2, which enables you to send energy to anyone, anywhere, anytime.
That was one of my questions, but I kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah.
As you said, you know, it doesn't matter if you're touching or if you're close or if there's a sweater, 2 sweaters, like distance and obstacles don't matter. So I'm thinking, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, distance Reiki I love, especially as a health coach too, because I do this thing called a magical minute before I am with any client in which I'm doing distance Reiki. And it's the same some nights. I'll just say, you know, I do Reiki every day in my household, but sometimes I just dedicate it to everybody out there. So I'll just put a post on Instagram or something and say, anybody, if you have an ailment or a friend that needs some extra love, write your name or tag them below, and I'll make sure I send out love tonight. And then I have their names, and I can look them up and see who they are and where they're at, and send them some Reiki healing with full intention. So it's a beautiful thing. It definitely makes it makes it a lot easier to spread out the ripple effect.
It reminds me of I might actually get emotional. A few years back, there was a little terminally ill girl. I can't remember the name. But there was this huge thing, like letters for Adley or something. And because they anticipated that that Christmas was going to be her last Christmas. So they asked people to send her art. And they actually had to hire the church to hire staff to open all the letters, the overwhelming amount of letters that they sent. And that was one of the letters. Well, in amongst all that, I hand drew her a letter, and I charged it and sent it. And it was sad that she did pass, but she didn't pass for like another 3 years.
Awesome.
So
Do you think that like boosted her quality of life for those 3 years?
I don't want to chime my ego and say that my card did it, but I'm sure
No,
all of it
as a
in
collective.
general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really.
Yeah, it's so powerful. I love getting proof of that kind of stuff, you know? Okay, so while the direct hands-on hand contact is preferred where possible, the distance healing method is just as effective and allows you to serve others who are not within reach. Today with internet, everybody is within reach. Level 2 attunement, there is a further attunement process called Reiki 2, which stimulates the pituitary gland or the third eye, which enhances your extrasensory perception of telepathic potential in time. And through practice, it becomes easier for a second degree graduate to receive information on its intuitive level. While this is a learning stage that is ongoing with consistent practice, most people are surprised at their ability in this area. We all have this ability within us. It's just a matter of recognizing it and learning to trust it. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I'm just commenting. You look super happy, like extra happy just reading that more than
Oh,
Your normal happy.
I love this stuff. I truly do.
Well, you're professionally trained in that,
Yeah. Okay, ancient symbols. Reiki 2 participants also learn how to utilize ancient symbols to assist with mental and emotional healing, which helps to release negative energy and conditioning from past experiences. This technique can be used on yourself or others as well. Self-empowerment. There is much inner movement and growth that occurs as a result of completing Reiki 2. And with those changes, the student becomes more empowered within themselves. As we become more empowered, we take on greater responsibility with the universal life force, and therefore rewarding with greater access to this powerful healing energy. Reiki practitioner is another thing that you receive, so you'll get accreditation for that. You're going to get accreditation for today. You'll get accreditation when you do your level 2 to become a practitioner, and then you'll get one for your master's as well. So on completing the 2nd degree of Reiki, you're qualified to become a Reiki practitioner and charge for your services, or do energy exchanges if that is your choice. So energy exchange would be a barter. But an energy exchange is money as well. You know, and we'll work on that when we do money mindset.
I thought you literally meant like, hey, you're in a good mood, I'm in a good mood, let's swap good moods and then go each other like separate ways.
No, that would be, yeah, energy exchange as in like a time exchange or a work exchange. So that's your choice. This is the next step for your path to Reiki mastery. So you do have to do level 2 to get into your mastery. And you know, I'm going to say too, like I've had so it's been 4 years that I've had my Reiki masters now. And I've been working as a health coach for the last 3 years. And in that time, I've definitely done more barters, more energy exchanges than I have paid services. But that's also gotten me to this opportunity that I have now to create an even bigger ripple effect and to actually like step into my worth financially, which is something that I'm going to teach you guys too, how to network, how to barter professionally, and also how to receive money and change that money mindset. So more information on upcoming Reiki trainings or other center events, visit elementalgrowth.org. We did hand placements. Guess I wanted to talk about them twice. Okay, stop screen share. Okay, coming to the end here, Tristan, is there any questions, anything that you want to talk about? What stood out to you the most? What you're excited for in the future?
Being able to use this to accomplish personal goals, setting my life straight, and even something as simple as like physical healing to get in better shape. You can exercise more, then heal yourself and not have to wait days to weeks in between good workouts.
Yeah, those are definitely really good benefits of level 1. Okay, and what are you most excited for moving forward? We've got some business training coming up, and then we have level 2 in a couple weeks.
Probably level 2.
Yeah? Yeah. All right.
Well, technically, to get specific to mastery, to be confident to master.
Yes.
Reiki.
All right. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up then. All right. Say goodbye for now. And see you guys in another week.